So we've got some questions which we're going to roll through with these guys, but get you all to introduce yourselves to the audience, starting closest to my right.
Hi guys, I'm Izzy. I work for Rhythm Group that's responsible for Rhythm and Vines and Rhythm and Alps and a few different events. And yeah, that's one of the things I do.
Cool. Hi, I'm Connor Nestor. I work on a show called You Live and also at George FM, and then do DJ stuff and dabble in a handful of different things.
Cool.
Thanks.
My name is Paul McLaney. I'm the general manager of Mushroom Music Publishing, as well as a full-time musician and full-time music fan. So yeah.
Cool. If you guys haven't checked out Paul's latest outfit, The Impending Adorations, definitely do. A couple of albums that are well worth your time. Nice cheap plug for you there.
Cool.
Arguably the biggest story in music at the moment is Lorde. It just seems to be every week that the story just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Like, I remember the first time finding out that she was 16, and that was crazy enough to me. And now the fact that she's number one on alt radio in America is just mind-blowing. What are your guys' thoughts on her social media and how she's kind of acting about it?
I think, firstly, I think she's incredible. I think it's really great how she's got this massive record deal, and she still just does everything herself, and she's so noob about it as well. Last night she posted a thing about her Auckland concert, and she wasn't supposed to, you know? Like, little mistakes like that, she's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But I think that in terms of her social media, she's nailing it, you know? She does everything that, she ticks all the boxes, and she still manages to keep this mystique about her as well. Obviously, she started with her Tumblr page and just started uploading heaps of stuff, and people found her music from that, and then it was like seeded out to a few different, I suppose, influencers in New Zealand, and then somehow it just dominated the entire world. But I think in terms of her social stuff, it's legit.
I think that part of your sentence there when he said somehow, that the somehow, you know, it boils down to very first principles, you know, regardless if we live in the age of the internet or not. As she wrote a really great song that connected with a lot of people, and I think it's probably the first time, well, it's definitely the first time someone of her generation in 2013 has actually commented on 2013, you know, and like you say, when it first rolled out, there's level of mystique around, you know, what's a debut single that is that good. And then as the social media things rolled out, she is just, I mean, she was born in 1997, right? I mean, her entire life the internet's been here.
Yeah.
I remember getting my first email address in 1994 or whatever it was. And I think she understands that, I mean, the song Royals is about hype, isn't it? You know, hype doesn't work. Hype will get you in the room, but if there's nothing to stay in the room for, then you're going to leave pretty quickly. You get a sense with her that everything is real, like you say. And I think that's the main thing about it.
My thoughts around that, though, is that how much do you think it is the people are so interested in how young she is and her, like, I don't know, her story and that she's, like, got her whole life in front of her, rather than being, say, if she was 25 and she wrote that song?
I certainly don't. I don't think that a 25-year-old would write that song. That's my theory on it. Like, I was looking at Jake Boak the other day, and he was born in 1994, and my brain started melting when I was thinking about that. And then one of the things I'm really interested about coming along tonight in this panel is, you know, hearing everybody else's questions and interests and concerns. That song, I think, is a product of the year that it has come out, and from the point of view of the person who's written it, who's on that cusp of adulthood or whatever you want to call it, and is looking at the world and going, well, you know, this is a crock. You know, you guys are just selling me a complete crock, and I know that it's a crock, and everyone knows it's a crock, but no one's really talking about it. So I might just comment on that, and that's really part and parcel of now. And I think that's the first thing. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of examples of why this isn't a very watertight argument, but it seems to me that popular music over the last decade or so lost its way in terms of its content. You know, it's so like window dressing, it just sounds right and it looks good, but it's why the older bands and the more niche bands from the past that just put in the hard work and get a bigger audience have been able to stick around, because they are the people that actually have had something to say and have been commenting all along. The thing about Lorde, you know, it's not happening in a small niche somewhere on a it's alternative radio, but it's number one alternative radio in America. It's number 39 in the American charts. And it sold 85,000 copies in its first week. It's not very niche. It's pop music in the way that Billy Ocean's pop music.
So, do you think that a lot of what she's doing is because of how young she is, that a lot of people just want to know everything about her, and that's kind of a lot of why she's doing what she's doing on social media?
I can't imagine what she'd do anything different. I mean, she's 16 years old and she lives in 2013. Like,
your whole life's on the internet, you know? When you grow up and with that around you, your online persona is pretty much what you do in real life. It's an exact reflection, and I think it should be as well. Sure, you can hide some things, but...
it's not so much an extension now, it pretty much is you now.
Yeah, exactly, and that's something that she's just embraced, and I think a lot of younger people are just lucky enough to be able to have as a thing.
And I don't think any of it's calculated. I think it's just who you are in this day and age, you know. Having a computer at home, you know, that's a strange thing, you know, still to me. You know? Not that old, but...